Little 5-year-old Kayla, with a heart as big as her imagination, thought she had found a family of abandoned bunnies in her backyard. Brimming with pride and compassion, she carefully brought them to the local vet for a checkup, eager to see them bounce back to health. But as the vet took a closer look, his face turned white as a sheet, and he staggered back in disbelief. Kayla and her mother could see in the doctor's eyes that he suddenly realized something when checking out the baby animals. He did not speak a word and quickly walked to his computer to look something up. Mother and daughter were waiting in anticipation, but they did not get any answers. All they got was a vet that suddenly fainted and fell on the floor. With the help of a doctor who was coincidentally in the waiting room as well, they managed to wake the vet up again. Kayla and her mother were still curious as to what the vet had discovered, but he had other things on his mind than explaining himself to them. He started screaming to his assistant that she needed to call animal control now. Only when suited-up man arrived to pick these animals up was it finally made clear what animals Kayla had found in her backyard. She and her mother could not believe it. How could these creatures have ever made their way there? But what were the creatures that Kayla found in her backyard? How had they gotten there, and why did the vet suddenly faint when checking them out? Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. Kayla knew she had seen something moving in the bushes. When she pushed the leaves out of the way, she was confronted with the sight of 6, what she assumed to be hairless bunnies huddled together for warmth. It was the middle of winter, and these poor creatures must have been freeing. Kayla quickly throws her coat over them and then starts to think of what she is supposed to do next. These animals need help, and she wants nothing more than to give it to them. But she knows her parents had told her so many times that they did not want pets or other animals in the house. Maybe they would make an exception in this case, but Kayla did not want to risk it. If her parents did not change their minds, these animals would be out in the cold again. And so Kayla decided that if she wanted to help these poor bunnies, she would have to do it in secret. She looked back at her house through the bushes. She knew that her father Sebastian would not be home from work for at least a couple of hours, and her mother Erica was cooking dinner in the kitchen. This was her best chance. She wanted to get these animals into her warm bed, and then she would work the rest of her plans out from there. She quickly picked up her coat again and started putting the 6 bunnies carefully in her pockets. They were something heavier than she expected, and Kayla was also surprised they did not jump away like other bunnies would normally do. But then again, she had also not seen any bunnies that were bald either. There must be either something wrong with them, or this was a breed of bunnies that she had just not heard of before. Whatever the case may be, these bunnies needed her help. And so, when she had loaded every single one of them in her now very heavy coat, Kayla started to waddle inside. To get to her room, she needed to take the stairs and had to walk past the kitchen. This was her biggest obstacle. She was sneaking towards the kitchen and saw that her mother was very busy cutting some of the vegetables. Kayla quickly walked past the opening, and only when she passed it did Kayla quickly tell her mother that she was going to play in her room. Here she put them quickly in the bed. The poor animals were shaking. Kayla hoped that they would quickly warm up in the sheets, but she also realized that these animals needed more than warmth. They needed food and water, and all Kayla knew that bunnies would eat was lettuce and carrots. And so it was back to the kitchen for her. His mother could not help but raise an eyebrow when Kayla came asking for a bottle of water and some healthy snacks in the form of lettuce and carrots. She had never known her daughter to want anything else than lemonade and sweats. She wanted to ask her where this sudden change of mind came from, but was very busy with dinner and also wanted to support this behavior very much. And so Kayla went upstairs with all her supplies. She was very happy as she thought she would not be able to take perfect care of these animals. Everything was going according to plan. But when she presented the food and water to the bald animals, she quickly realized that they had no interest in eating any of it, and Kayla understood why when she inspected the animal a bit closer. The more she inspected these animals, the more she started to realize that they were most likely not bunnies at all. They did not have big teeth, big ears, or strong hind legs. Kayla started to be more and more convinced that she was dealing with baby animals of some sort. But she had no idea what animals exactly, and even worse, she had no idea how to take care of them now. Feeling like she was out of options, Kayla decided that she needed her mother's help. And so, with tears in her eyes, she ran downstairs and started explaining everything to her mother Erica. She was confused at first, but at least now the healthy choices of her daughter started to make sense. Kayla ended her explanation with a plea to please help her take these animals to the vet. Kayla stood before her mother, her eyes brimming with tears. "Mom, we need to help them," she said, her voice quivering with urgency. "They're all alone and scared, just like I would be." Her small hands clenched into fists, embodying a determination far beyond her years. Erica looked down at her daughter, seeing the raw earnestness in her plea. Gently, Kayla led her mother to the hidden corner of her room. There, nestled in a makeshift bed, lay the mysterious creatures. "See, Mom, they're not like any bunnies I've seen before." Erica peered closely, her brow furrowing at the sight of the hairless, shivering animals. Kayla's eyes pleaded for understanding, for action. Erica knelt down, observing the creatures with a mix of curiosity and concern. "Kayla, these don't look like any bunnies I know," she said cautiously. "Where did you find them?" Kayla's explanation, filled with innocent conviction, only deepened Erica's uncertainty. But the worry in her daughter's eyes was impossible to ignore. "Please, Mom, they need us," Kayla implored, her voice steadied by a sense of purpose. She recounted how she found them, cold and huddled together. Erica listened, her heart softening at Kayla's display of compassion. It was clear this was more than a child's whim. It was a call to kindness, a lesson in empathy. Finally, Erica sighed, her skepticism giving way to maternal instinct. "All right, Kayla, we'll take them to the vet." She watched as Kayla's face lit up with relief and gratitude. Together, they prepared for the unexpected journey ahead, united in their desire to help the mysterious creatures Kayla had brought into their lives. In their living room, Erica and Kayla gathered supplies for the creatures. "We'll need a blanket to keep them warm," Erica suggested, her voice laced with apprehension. Kayla nodded, her small hands carefully placing the creatures into a sturdy box. Their eyes met, sharing a moment of uncertainty and resolve as they prepared to face whatever lay ahead. As they walked to the car, Erica gently squeezed Kayla's shoulder. "I'm proud of you for doing this, Kayla," she said softly. "It takes a big heart to care for others, especially the smallest among us." Kayla's face brightened with her mother's words of encouragement, feeling a sense of pride and comfort in her mother's support. The car ride to the vet was quiet, filled with the weight of uncertainty. Erica kept glancing at the box beside Kayla, her mind racing with questions about the creature's condition and origin. Kayla sat clutching the box, her gaze fixed out the window, lost in thoughts about the fate of her newfound friends. They arrived at the vet's office, the creatures still hidden beneath the blanket. Erica helped Kayla carry the box, her heart pounding with nervous anticipation. As they entered, the curious eyes of other pet owners fell upon them. Kayla clutched the box tighter, the responsibility of caring for these mysterious creatures weighing heavily on her young shoulders. Approaching the reception desk, Erica declared, "We have an emergency." The urgency in her voice caught the attention of the staff. Kayla stood beside her, the box in her arms, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and hope. The receptionist quickly directed them to a waiting area, sensing the seriousness of their situation. They sat down, bracing themselves for what was to come. The waiting room was abuzz with activity, every seat filled. Erica and Kayla, with their mysterious box, instantly became the focus of curious glances. People with their pets glanced over, trying to sneak a peek. Kayla held the box closer, feeling the weight of all the eyes on them. The air was thick with curiosity, each person silently questioning what could be inside. Murmurs and whispers floated around the room. "What could they have brought?" one woman asked her companion. A child tugged at his mother's sleeve, pointing at Kayla's box. Erica noticed the growing interest and felt a twinge of nervousness. Kayla, sensing her mother's discomfort, whispered, "It'll be okay, Mom." Their secret cargo was stirring wonder in the crowded room. As minutes ticked by, the curiosity in the room seemed to swell. People shifted in their seats, trying to get a better view. The receptionist eyed them occasionally, adding to the air of mystery. Kayla felt the creatures move inside the box, their presence a secret only she and her mother knew. The room's attention was firmly fixed on them now. Kayla and Erica sat in anxious anticipation, each minute feeling longer than the last. Kayla fidgeted, glancing at the reception desk, then at the box. Erica put her arm around her, trying to offer some comfort. They both jumped slightly every time the door to the vet's office opened, hoping it was their turn to discover the truth about their enigmatic find. Finally, their names were called. The room fell silent for a moment as all eyes turned to them. Kayla stood up, gripping the box tightly, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. Erica gave her a reassuring nod as they walked towards the vet's office, the door closing behind them, cutting off the whispers and stares of the waiting room. In the examination room, the vet gently lifted the creatures out of the box. Kayla and Erica watched, their hearts in their throats, as he began his thorough examination. He prodded gently, murmuring to himself, his experienced eyes scanning over each animal. The room was silent except for his methodical movements, the tension palpable as he worked. As the vet continued, his brow furrowed in confusion. He paused often, looking more puzzled with each passing moment. Kayla and Erica exchanged worried glances. This was not the usual routine checkup. Something about these creatures was baffling even to the seasoned vet. The mystery of their identity deepened with each furrow of his brow. Erica reached for Kayla's hand, squeezing it tightly. Both their faces were etched with concern. Kayla's eyes were fixed on the vet, trying to read his expression. Erica's mind raced with questions about what could be so unusual about these animals. The room felt smaller, the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. Suddenly, the vet's demeanor changed. His eyes widened and he took a step back, a look of disbelief washing over his face. "This is extraordinary," he muttered, almost to himself. Kayla's grip on her mother's hand tightened. Something was happening, something beyond their understanding, and it was written all over the vet's shocked face. Abruptly, the vet turned and hurried to his computer. He typed quickly, his eyes scanning the screen. Seconds later, he swayed on his feet, his face pale. Before Erica or Kayla could react, he collapsed to the floor, unconscious. The room was thrown into chaos, with nurses rushing in and Kayla and Erica standing frozen, shocked by the sudden turn of events. As the vet hit the floor with a thud, panic erupted in the office. Nurses dashed in, their faces etched with concern. Erica shielded Kayla with her body, her own heart racing with fear. The staff moved quickly, trying to clear the area. Kayla peeked around her mother, her eyes wide with fright as she witnessed the chaos unfolding around them. Suddenly, a man from the waiting room, identifying himself as a doctor, pushed through the crowd. He knelt beside the vet, checking his pulse and calling for medical supplies. Erica watched, holding Kayla close as the doctor worked with a calm efficiency. The room held its breath, waiting for any sign of improvement in the vet's condition. Kayla clung to her mother, her small frame shaking. "Is he going to be okay, Mom?" she whispered, her voice quivering. Erica hugged her tighter, unsure of what to say. The sight of the fallen vet, coupled with the unknown fate of the creatures, overwhelmed Kayla. Her worry for the animals now extended to the vet, whose health was hanging in the balance. The doctor and nurses worked diligently, administering first aid. "We need to get him conscious," the doctor muttered. Erica watched the team's efforts, feeling helpless. Kayla buried her face in her mother's side, unable to watch. The tension in the room was thick, every second feeling like an eternity as they all waited for a sign of the vet's revival. Finally, the vet stirred, groaning as he regained consciousness. His eyes fluttered open, meeting the concerned faces surrounding him. "What happened?" he asked, his voice weak. He tried to sit up, confusion written all over his face. The room exhaled in relief, but the vet's bewildered state only added to the mystery and unease of the situation. Erica and Kayla exchanged a worried look, their anxiety far from over. Kayla and Erica sat beside the recovering vet, their minds swirling with questions. "What did you see? What's wrong with them?" Erica asked, her voice laden with concern. The vet, still disoriented, struggled to speak. He glanced at the box, then away, his expression troubled. The answers they desperately sought remained just out of reach, increasing their apprehension. As he regained his bearings, the vet's first coherent words were unexpected. "Call animal control now," he urged, his voice urgent and shaky. Kayla's eyes widened in fear, and Erica's brow furrowed in confusion. Why would the vet demand such a thing? The severity of his tone suggested a danger they hadn't considered, sending a chill down their spines. The office atmosphere turned tense as the staff hurried to follow the vet's instructions. Whispers filled the room and worried glances were exchanged. Erica held Kayla close, trying to offer some comfort amidst the growing unease. The gravity of the situation was setting in, and the calm demeanor of the office had been replaced by a palpable sense of urgency. The vet's assistant, with a tremor in her hand, dialed animal control. "We have a situation here," she spoke into the phone, her voice strained. Kayla and Erica watched, feeling a sense of dread. The call to animal control confirmed that the creatures they had brought in were no ordinary animals. The room waited in suspense, anticipating what would come next. After the call, an unsettling silence enveloped the room. Kayla looked around, seeing the worried faces of the staff and other pet owners. Erica tried to read the expressions of the vet and his team, looking for clues. The unknown nature of the creatures in their care had turned the vet's office into a theater of suspense, with everyone waiting for the next act to unfold. In the vet's office, the wait for animal control felt interminable. Erica and Kayla sat holding hands, the tension around them almost tangible. Other pet owners glanced their way, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. The staff moved about, casting nervous looks at the box. The air was thick with anticipation, each passing moment amplifying the sense of unease. The vet, now sitting up, spoke in a hushed, tremulous voice. "I've never seen anything like them," he confessed, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and disbelief. Erica and Kayla listened intently, searching for answers in his words. His confusion only served to heighten their anxiety, the mystery of the creatures deepening with every unanswered question. As the vet reiterated the need for caution, the gravity of the situation became painfully clear. "We must be careful," he warned. The seriousness in his voice silenced the room. Kayla clutched her mother's hand tighter, her eyes reflecting the fear that had taken hold. The vet's insistence on danger had transformed their act of kindness into a potentially perilous situation. The arrival of animal control broke the tense silence. Two officers, clad in uniforms and carrying equipment, entered briskly. Their professional demeanor and the urgency of their movements added a new level of drama to the unfolding scenario. Kayla watched them with wide, apprehensive eyes, while Erica tried to maintain a composed facade despite the escalating tension. The vet and the animal control officers gathered in a corner for a hushed, urgent conversation. Their voices were low, but the seriousness of their expressions spoke volumes. Erica strained to catch snippets of their discussion, her mind racing with possibilities. Kayla looked on, a sense of helplessness washing over her. The secretive nature of the conversation only served to deepen the mystery and worry surrounding the creatures. Kayla clung to her mother, sensing the mounting concern in the room. Erica's face was etched with worry as she watched the ongoing conversation between the vet and animal control. Kayla's initial excitement had given way to a deepening unease. "Mom, what's going to happen to them?" she whispered. Erica had no answers, only a comforting embrace for her daughter in a room filled with uncertainty. The vet's behavior grew increasingly alarming. His gestures were animated, his voice occasionally rising in emphasis, even as he tried to maintain discretion. Erica and Kayla could only watch, their anxiety growing. The vet's reactions hinted at a complexity and danger they hadn't anticipated. The weight of his concern was palpable, casting a shadow over their earlier hopefulness. The room was a tableau of tension, every person caught up in the unfolding drama. The pet owners and staff exchanged worried glances, their routine visits overshadowed by the unfolding mystery. The air felt charged, and each person in the room was acutely aware that something significant and unusual was happening before their eyes. Speculation ran rampant among the onlookers. "What could they be?" whispered one. "I've never seen the vet so shaken," murmured another. The whispers created a backdrop of suspense, feeding into the collective anxiety. Kayla, overhearing snippets of conversation, felt a growing dread. The unknown nature of her discovery had captured everyone's imagination. As the animal control officers began examining the creatures, a hush fell over the room. Everyone awaited the verdict with bated breath. Kayla and Erica stood close, watching intently. The officers' expressions were unreadable, their scrutiny meticulous. The moment of truth was at hand, and with it, the resolution to the mystery that had started in Kayla's backyard. The animal control officer turned to Erica and Kayla, a look of astonishment on his face. "These aren't bunnies," he announced. "They're baby capybaras, extremely rare." The room erupted in murmurs of shock. Kayla's eyes widened in disbelief, her earlier assumptions shattered. Erica's mouth fell open, amazed by the revelation. The mystery of the backyard discovery had taken an unexpected turn, leaving everyone in awe. A wave of relief washed over Kayla, knowing they weren't in danger, but this was quickly replaced by new concerns. "What happens to them now?" Erica asked, her voice tinged with worry. The animal control officer assured them the capybaras would be cared for, but the uncertainty of their future lingered in the air. Kayla looked at the creatures with newfound affection and concern, imposed, joined the conversation. "They were likely brought here by a smuggler," he explained. Erica's expression turned to one of alarm, while Kayla listened intently. The idea that someone had illegally transported these vulnerable animals added a grave dimension to their discovery. The room absorbed this news, the seriousness of the situation becoming even more evident. "Where's their mother?" Kayla asked, her voice small but filled with concern. The vet and the animal control officer exchanged glances. "Often, the mothers are left behind, or worse," the officer said gently. Kayla's heart sank at the thought. Erica hugged her tightly, sharing in her daughter's concern for the fate of the mother capybara. The focus now shifted to the well-being of the baby capybaras. "We'll ensure they receive the best care and try to find them a suitable home," said the animal control officer. Kayla looked up, determination in her eyes. "We want to help," she declared. Erica nodded in agreement, ready to support her daughter's new mission. Their accidental discovery had evolved into a commitment to these rare creatures. The animal control officer assured Erica and Kayla, "We'll take good care of them." He explained how the capybaras would be placed in a specialized rehabilitation facility. Kayla's eyes lit up with hope, relieved to know they would be in safe hands. Erica felt a sense of pride in her daughter, who had shown such empathy for these rare animals. The vet, now fully recovered, commended Kayla and Erica. "Your quick thinking saved these capybaras," he said with a smile. Fellow pet owners in the waiting room nodded in agreement, offering their admiration. Kayla beamed with pride, and Erica felt a warm glow of satisfaction. Their unexpected adventure had made a real difference. Discussions ensued about returning the capybaras to their natural habitat. The animal control officer detailed plans for their eventual release into a protected reserve. Kayla listened intently, eager to learn more. Erica asked thoughtful questions, ensuring the capybaras would be safe and well cared for. They both felt a sense of responsibility for the animal's future. Over the following weeks, Kayla and Erica kept close tabs on the capybara's progress. They visited the rehabilitation center, watching the creatures grow and thrive. Each visit strengthened the bond between mother and daughter, their shared experience bringing them closer. They found joy in each small step the capybaras took towards returning to the wild. The story concluded with Kayla and Erica at the rehabilitation center, watching as the capybaras were prepared for their journey back to their natural habitat. They hugged, a mix of joy and sadness in their hearts. "We did something good, Mum," Kayla said softly. Erica nodded, tears in her eyes, proud of what they had accomplished together. It was a heartwarming end to an extraordinary adventure.